4:40 until all sports talk on News Radio WGNS.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at
played with back in the early 70s. I don't know what happened to my pitcher of the freshman team, but he texted me a picture. He said, "How many of these guys can you name?" And I'm going, "Not very many." So, but congratulations to UT, and it's, again, football. I go off the cuff. I really thought Penn State had Oregon there for a moment.
I did too.
And
I don't know. It's a Franklin thing. I just don't think the man is a great coach, but he just cannot, eclipse that next level.
Can't pull off the big one, huh?
Hey, big shout out Arian Carter, Smyrna High graduate, linebacker at Tennessee. He's the SEC Player of the Week. That's pretty big, representing Smyrna and Rutherford County. That's a big deal. But he is quite the human being. If you ever got to know him, while he's here at Smyrna and be up there doing great things.
He's quite the beast.
Man, he is huge, isn't he?
I can't imagine participating in 17 tackles.
I know.
And what half a dozen of them were solos, I believe.
That's exactly right.
But pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Rick, we've got a great guest this morning. I'm a little worried that maybe I was going to be sitting over here like a bump on the log. Really wouldn't have a whole lot to add. But this morning, it's our pleasure to have Chief Chris Mays, the gentleman w's the most mispronounced name in Rutherford County right now. Before we went on air, Chief, when you were telling me some of the ways that it had been pronounced so far, I just thought that's hilarious. But we are in the South, so we tend to go phonetically, I guess.
That's exactly right.
But good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, tell our audience a little bit about you, where you came from. We got to talk about your sweet mom for a little bit before the show, and it's really great getting to know you.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm 54 years old, and I was born and raised up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, land of beer and cheese. And
cheeseheads, cheeseheads, buddy.
I'm going to go on the record right now and say I'm not a Packer fan. My wife is, but I'm a Bears fan.
I am shocked to hear that. Actually,
I am too.
I'm definitely in the minority up in that state, but no, I'm blue and orange through and through. But I grew up there, product of private schools up there, went to Marquette University High School, and I think my high school years were really formative for me. It was during that time period that I lost my father. He passed away, and but I had a lot of strong male and female role models, but I had some real close people step up and kind of could never fill his shoes, but stepped in a little bit to help me through those difficult times. The motto of my high school is to be a man for others. We were an all-boys Jesuit high school, so the motto is to be a man for others, and that really set with me. And so I've always been dedicated to service. When I left or graduated from high school, I went on to college, and I entered the college seminary program, where I discerned a vocation to the priesthood for 2 years. And after 2 years, I realized that I didn't want to make the sacrifice of celibacy for the Catholic Church, and I really wanted to have a family. And so I then transitioned out of the seminary and followed a major in criminal justice at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Now, that's a big transition from the priesthood to law enforcement.
Well, I'm saving souls just in a different way.
Exactly. I could think of two when I worked at Smyrna that came on with our guys came out of seminary and got in law enforcement, and then both, after a short time, said, this is not what I thought. I think they thought they would come in and they were going to be able to save the world quickly, and you get in there pretty quickly and you find out you can't, and they immediately went back to what they were doing before, which was great. And we used them as volunteers and things like that for chaplain wise, but yeah, it's great that you stuck with it, because that's tough.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been a rewarding, I say career, but it's more of a calling. And you treat every assignment uniquely, and you try to give it your all, and you do it for the victims. And there are some victims that are not the best victims, but there are other victims out there who you can really impact their lives, and it's those that stay with you for the rest of your life.
What about siblings?
I have one brother. He's an older brother. He's back in Milwaukee area. He works. He's an electrical engineer by trade, and he ends up. I think he's middle management and everything like that. But he has two beautiful daughters. One is being confirmed here soon, and the other is in college pursuing, I think, a psychology degree. He married a very nice, driven young lady from. She actually immigrated here from Laos, and was sponsored by, I believe, a Lutheran church. And her family is the epitome of the American dream. They came here, they obtained their citizenship, they opened their own family business, and they were
did
successful.
it the right way.
They did it the right way. So, so they have a very nice, solid family. He's a good person. He's taking care of my mom in my absence, because she's getting a little older, and while moving here was great for me, great for my family, and I really feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. I do have some feelings of guilt for leaving my mom back home, but he's stepped up and
impression of the South.
Well, I shared the story with you.
It's only an hour-long show, okay?
So we were talking before we went on the air, and my wife and I, making a move this far away was not something we took lightly. So we wanted to really research the area, Laverne and the Middle Tennessee area. But we went out for dinner out there in Laverne, and we're going into this restaurant, and this guy opens the door, and he just holds it for us. He's like, "How y'all doing today?" And being from Milwaukee, I'm like looking at him like, "What's your angle, pal?" But that was my first impression. Everybody is just so warm, so kind, so welcoming. There's just a genuineness about the South that I've been attracted to, and it's one of the reasons why we would vacation here in Tennessee with our kids when we had opportunities. So the South has been great, and I love the history of Middle Tennessee. It's funny when you're a kid, you really I didn't particularly care for history. I didn't like it, but now that I'm older, I really value it, and I love just learning about the area and the history here.
Have you looked at your genealogy? Do you know your ancient history?
So yeah, my family hails. Well, I'm kind of a mutt, German, Dutch, Irish, and Swiss. So
wow.
Yeah, a little bit all over the map there. But my family hailed from what is now Poland. But when they immigrated in the early 1800s, it was part of the Germanic Empire, part of Prussia, East Prussia, and the city of Dansk. And they actually came through before they built Ellis Island. So my family immigrated through Battery Park in New York City, and I learned that because I went to Ellis Island thinking they came through there, and then I found out they did not. But and then my mom's side of the family is more Irish, and they've been here a very long time. In fact, some of them served the United States Army way back in the day. So we've been here a very long time. So, but I wish I had more information on the genealogy, but unfortunately those were conversations I couldn't have with my dad before he passed away. So.
I tell you, it's amazing because I have through my stint in law enforcement, I made connections all over the country, and one of my best friends, I feel like today, and he's in West Palm Beach, Florida, but he loves Nashville. He loves the honky tonks, the old country music. I'm good for 2 times a year. He's coming through. We got to play golf for $1 and go downtown. He's that kind of guy. And he did his own genealogy. He's from Michigan originally, so he was able to go back, and he found that he had a relative that was in the Revolutionary War, and which next year is the 250th anniversary of us being a country, and so it's a big deal for him. So he took my name and date of birth and my mom and dad's names, and within a month, it was like he gave me a case file he mailed me in the mail, and it's this big, thick, 4-inch thing, and he's gone through my complete genealogy and has everything.
Wow.
And I was amazed by it because, it's tracking us all the way back to 1600 and my dad's side to 1630, and it's just amazing that the records that are out there, and what blows me away, and I don't know about your side, what you found, a lot of it is those family Bibles. Everything got written down and set in those family Bibles, and then that's what these genealogy companies want to buy, is these old Bibles to get the lineage of what they are. But I'm fascinated. I'm still digging into what he sent me now, and
it's a rabbit hole. You start going down it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
man.
it's captivating.
My family, you can tell by my accent, is from Delaware, so we're right there, in the midst of everything.
It's like reading Leviticus, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Who begat who?
Yes, sir. So you were in Milwaukee, and tell us a little bit about how that transitioned for you to come here, because you did 27 years there, were captain over investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And what made you see? Did you look online, or how did you find about this job in Rutherford County, Laverne?
Yeah, so I started my career kind of a journeyman. I had a couple of part-time cop jobs for the Wisconsin State Fair Park and for the University of Wisconsin Parkside, and I did that for only about 6 months, and I got picked up by the village of Fox Point, which is a very small, affluent suburb on the north shore of Lake Michigan, north of Milwaukee. Very, very nice community, but very safe community, so not very exciting for somebody who wants to go into law enforcement. But I was there 2 weeks. I applied to Milwaukee, went through their process, and got hired there, and spent 27 years with Milwaukee, and got to do everything. That's the one thing that I can truly say I appreciated about the Milwaukee Police Department, is that I was able to work uniform patrol at a district, and then I went undercover in narcotics, and from there I went and I did sensitive crimes investigations, robbery investigations, property crimes. As a lieutenant, I oversaw the robbery division, the homicide division. I was overseeing our intelligence fusion center, our internal affairs division, where I was on the criminal side for our special investigations unit. Oversaw our jail and our court administration section. At the time, I don't think I truly appreciated having that variety of experience, but as I was getting towards the end of my career and I made captain, my first assignment as captain was to be the night inspector, where I oversaw all city operations while the chief was home. So from 6 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning, I was his representative, and I worked overnight, responded to all the major scenes, and then would put together a briefing for him in the morning, and then I was graciously given a day shift position where I could go back to normal hours and oversaw violent crimes. But when I look back, I was like, everything that I've been able to do has prepared me to be a police chief, and so I really felt like I wanted to have that formal influence over an organization to try to mold it, shape it, create the culture, and drive it in the direction that I think is right. And so I started looking for jobs around Wisconsin, but I also wanted to expand to areas where my wife and I would like to someday retire, and the 2 spots were Florida and Tennessee. And I was looking on the IACP website, and I saw Laverne, Tennessee, and they had a very nice brochure, and they just talked about the community. Obviously there was some talk of like the pay and the benefits, and it just looked like a good fit. I always say that Laverne is kind of a microcosm of Milwaukee. It's very diverse. It's borders Davidson County. We're right there. We're the doorway to Rutherford County. So we have some of the challenges that I experienced over my career with the big city, but we still have that small town vibe, that feel. And we're a close community, and we have really, really good people. And it took me time to change from a department that I knew for 27 years to a department where I knew nobody, and develop those relationships. And obviously I didn't know what I was coming into. I didn't know what the skill sets were and everything, and so I had to come in with a little bit of a critical eye and just evaluate things. And I can tell you from my experience, the people there are top notch. I mean, we have a great department in Laverne. I saw this morning, and kudos to the Metro Nashville PD for having a homicide clearance rate that's nearly 80%. That was one of the headlines this morning.
That's unheard of, though.
That's pretty high.
Anybody listening out there, that's unheard to have 80%.
National average is usually 50%.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have known that, of course.
Yeah, but in my tenure here with the Laverne Police Department, we've had several homicides during that time frame, and we're at 100%. So that just tells you the professionalism of the patrol officers that respond to the initial scenes, secure the witnesses, the detectives that come in, and then continue on with that investigation and interview people, and the forensics people that come out and take care of all the evidence and everything. So. I couldn't be prouder of the Laverne Police Department and being their chief of police. It's been the greatest accomplishment of my career.
That's amazing.
And you have to contend with the largest subdivision in the state as well.
That's true. Lake Forest, it is gigantic, and it does come with some of its challenges.
Yeah.
But we're trying to address them as they come in. We're very committed to the public driving what our priorities are. So I don't set the priorities of the department. My deputy chief, my captain, nobody does. The public does. They're the ones that call us with their concerns, and they're the ones that drive what our efforts are going to be.
Rick and I do Meals on Wheels, and we do the Laverne leg, and the majority of our deliveries are in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to keep our eyes open.
Okay. Call us if you need us.
Well, hopefully not.
But honestly, I've seen it changing.
Yeah.
That whole little area down there. I mean, when I used to be an officer, we were sent a lot of times down the Lake Forest with suspect area and things like that, or we'd have a victim and it was all tied back. It would tie to that area for a little while. But I've seen a whole noticeable change, it seems like, in just the 4 years I've been doing the Meals on Wheels down there, it seems like, in that area. And I don't know if that's an influence of you doing that, but the thing about police work is the more visible you are, I think the better. One police car being seen acts as four, as long as you keep yourself visual. So the officers stay on the streets and things like that, but call volume and things dictate that a lot of times if you're able to keep those officers on the street like you should. But you're doing great things down there. I hear good things, and just being in the community like we are here pretty heavily, I'm impressed by what I hear.
Well, thank you. It's not me. It's the men and women that are out there doing the job every day.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, I'm just trying to manage the organization, but it's the boots on the ground that are actually making those face-to-face contacts day in and day out throughout the day, and they don't represent me. They represent the agency, the organization, and they're doing a fine job of it. So I can't thank them enough for the job that they do. And they are tasked with a lot. And I understand at times it can be frustrating for your administrators, your leaders to ask you, to do all these different things, because there's an infinite number of things that we'd like for you to accomplish and a finite number of minutes in every day. And so that creates stress, and we understand that. So we try to support them the best we can while we're still addressing those problems within the community.
And you got a community that continues to just grow. I mean, Middle Tennessee, Smyrna, Murfreesboro, Laverne, just continued to burst at the seams with population moving in.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that population are not nice people.
We're the whole area, Rutherford County, we have to have a regional approach to everything now. We have to have good communication between RCSO, between Smyrna, between Murfreesboro, between Laverne, because all of our issues are not just within our geographic boundaries. It's regional, and I think we do a fantastic job of communicating with one another, sharing intelligence, and trying to assist each other with our own individual investigations. So when it comes to Laverne, I know we're not trying to protect what's ours. We're here to help other agencies, whether it be TBI that has an investigation that comes into our city. We are here to help you. We don't want the credit. We just want the bad guys off the street.
Exactly right. And I mean, that's a huge part of what we do here, because obviously through COVID and officer shortages and everything else that you you do have those critical incidents where, I know we just had a standoff in Smyrna, and you guys sent people up and a Bearcat up, and the SO came down as well, and that was a volatile situation that was under control, but that was a unified command type of approach that you guys were able to implement. But the way it seemed like from us in the public, it was seamless, because it seems like you guys have been practicing that and having those conversations, which made it easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do that. We train together as best we can. You mentioned the staffing shortages, and that makes it challenging.
Yeah.
We can only send so many people at a time to train regionally, but we're committed to it. We try to do as much as we can, maybe 3-4 people at a time. But the exercises that we've participated in have paid off dividends, and we're glad for that. And since you brought up the shortage, let me go into my recruiting mode here. But we do have several vacancies with the Laverne Police Department. We are looking for qualified men and women to join our ranks. We are currently doing a salary study, so we'll see where our salary lands after that study is completed in the next month or two. But I can say our benefits package is one of the best around. Not too many places offer free health care for you and family.
They're the one and only that has free health care for their officers come in, so not a penny.
Yeah, and right now with the shortage, we do have plenty of opportunities for overtime and things of that nature. So if you're looking to try the career of law enforcement, or if you feel that calling, I would invite you to come and test with the Laverne Police Department. We do things a little differently there. We don't treat you like a number. We have a lot of officers that are assigned as mentors to our applicants, and we're there throughout the process. I personally try to come to every testing if I'm available, and talk to the new applicants and tell them what my vision is for the department, what my servant leadership philosophy is all about, and what we're trying to do here in Laverne. And the feedback that we've gotten has been great. We really want to build a cohesive team here in Laverne, but we need good men and women to do that, and diverse men and women. The police department should reflect the community it serves, and so I'm proud to say that during my short time here, we hired our 2 officers, the first 2 that are Arabic speaking, and they have been a tremendous help. Great story real quick was one of my officers came to me and he said, Chief, when you were talking about how the force needs to reflect the community it serves, I didn't really buy into it until I went to a call where everybody was Arabic speaking, and then one of our officers, Officer Gads, showed up, and he said the entire dynamic of that call changed because he was able to speak the language, and there was greater levels of understanding, and he said, I'm all in. And that just makes me proud and happy of our agency. Our organization tells me we're doing the right things.
And you have some big events that you have to contend with, the old timers and parades and Halloween in the park, and that makes for a dense population in a small area, and that can be a little trying, I suspect.
Yeah, we have Lieutenant Mike Campbell is the lieutenant that oversees a lot of those special events, and he does a great job organizing it. We do limit those days off because the current staffing levels. Yeah. It's basically an all hands on deck. I mean, even my assistant chief has been out there taking a traffic corner because we need bodies to make sure that the parade route is safe and things of that nature. So we have a lot of great events. One coming up that I'm excited about is our National Night Out. October 7th, I believe, and we've since last year's we've gotten our Bearcat, which is a great tool for our SWAT team and our department. So that'll be on display. We're actually going to do a SWAT demonstration. We're going to do a canine demonstration, and we have since I got here, we started a drone team. So we'll also do a drone demonstration for people that come out. So really inviting people to come out and check out some of the tools or the toys that we have for our agency and how they can really impact public safety in Laverne. So it's going to be a great event, and I invite everybody to come out.
Again, that was October the 7th?
I believe it's October 7th. I hope I'm not misspeaking on that.
We'll check when we go to, you know what the hours are of that? Where's it going to be?
No, not off the top of my head.
When we get back, we're about to take a break, so when we get back, we'll be able to post that out and make sure everybody comes or be able to check it out.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll get that.
All right, you listening to the Tuesday Morning Roundtable with Rick and Wayne. We're going to take our first break. We've got the Laverne Police Chief with us today, Christopher Maze with us, and it's not Meow. So that's an off
Super
thing
Troopers.
joke. But Super Troopers, that's some police work in us.
Stop
but,
that right, Meow.
I know. We'll be right back with you in just a minute.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
What's the location of your emergency?
I think my kid OD'd.
Hi, I'm Craig Harris. I'm County Commissioner of Rutherford County. One of the reasons I ran for office is because I wanted to bring awareness to the opioid epidemic that's impacting our county. To stop providing this epidemic with people as we educate. We have a lot to do, and we have to come together as a community because this problem is not going away.
Turn to Turner Security.
Hey, it's Brian, and we've relied on Turner Security for systems here at WGNS and Big GTV for many years. Their advanced security solutions with real-time monitoring and automation keep us safe. Plus, their expert IT service ensures our tech runs smoothly, from networks, computers to troubleshooting. Their team tailors solutions to our needs, and I highly recommend them for home or business solutions for you.
Turn to Turner Security.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by America Pest Control, Old National Bank, and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
At the law offices of John Day, we take only real cases that make a real difference.
The law offices of John Day took the burden really off of my shoulders.
So if you think you're going to get rich quick with a frivolous case, I'm not the lawyer for you.
I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done so much. I know you went over and beyond.
If we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day for a free consultation.
All this year, WGNS is celebrating 78 years of giving you local news, weather, and sports. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, are you new to town? Would you like to learn more about our local history? Come on over to the one-room Ransom Schoolhouse this Saturday, anytime between 9 in the morning and noon. Members of the Rutherford County Historical Society will be there sharing local history and answering your questions. It's all free, including the coffee and donuts. That's this Saturday, between 9 in the morning and noon. Ransom School is at 717 North Academy Street. Is your smartphone challenging you? Don't worry about it. Come on by any of the Rutherford County Public Library branches. There's somebody there who'll help you with those smartphone challenges. And it's a free service of the local library. There's a grief support group that meets every Wednesday morning at 10 at the St. Clair Senior Center here in Murfreesboro. It is free. That's every Wednesday morning at 10 at the St. Clair Senior Center. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see sunny skies here for this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 61. Wednesday, sunshine, high of 87. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center. Currently, it's 63.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Sharing Change has donated now over $12 million to local nonprofits. Find out how your spare change can make a big impact at sharingchange.org.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And good morning and welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And certainly our pleasure this morning to have Laverne Police Chief Christopher Mays with us, and we've certainly enjoyed the first segment. Before we get back to talking to Chief Mays, I promised a fellow Rotarian that I would do a PSA, Rick. Walk for Water, the 4th annual, is coming up October the 5th, and it's at the Sharp Springs Park there in Smyrna. For more information, you can call 615-775. I'm going to redo that. 615-966-8949. And just been digging wells for in underdeveloped countries. Water is the you got to have water to live. So
you sure do.
Apparently they've raised over 155,000 in 4 years and 19 wells built. So quite the reach out for them. So we'll say one more time before we leave the air. And again, Chief, great to have you this morning, and I'm hanging on every word that you and Rick are sharing, because with both of you being law enforcement professionals, so it's pretty cool to have you. Thank you. And would like to say that I met you. Not only do you protect and serve, but you also give blood. I met you at giving blood several weeks ago. So that's pretty cool. How many gallons are you on?
Oh God, I don't even know where I'm at.
That's a big deal for Wayne. Just like what academy class you go to, you better know what academy class, and 2 is how many gallons of blood you be able to give.
296. Oh man.
We talked earlier because you're that borderline between Davidson and Rutherford County, and I've had first time having Laverne PD in here, but there's not a gate, there's not a wall. It's just an invisible road basically that separates one county from the other, but there's a drastic difference from what that one side of the road is to that other side, and you're the front door of that invisible line that's there, and the rate of crime that you see in Davidson County and Metro and that area there, and then you cross that visible line and it's a noticeable distance down. Now we get stuff, obviously they routinely come down this way, or we fortunately have some citizens here that will commit crimes and things, but it's amazing that crossing of the road is so much beneficial to our citizens down here, and it's a testament to what programs that you and other departments like you and our county implement to make that difference. And LPRs, do y'all use very many LPRs down in there? That's a big hot topic right now, obviously, and some departments post a lot about their successes with that gets a lot of positive feedback and a lot of negative too, because there's constitutionals out there as far as how those things work. But when you have labor shortages or officer shortages, things like that are a great tool to help you combat crime that may come into our community.
It's absolutely a force multiplier. It enables us to be able to almost be in one place 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the data that is retrieved by these LPRs is it's closely guarded.
Yeah.
I think the people that are afraid of like a police state are misinformed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fully understand how it's used or how the data is stored and for how long it's stored. But it's a valuable tool, and it's one that we've used time and time again to solve felonious crimes that are occurring in Laverne. And not only ours, but we had one a crime that happened on the border of Laverne and Smyrna, and we were able to use the LPRs from Smyrna to get our investigative leads and move forward with that investigation. So the fact that we have a lot of departments in the region that are on board with this is helpful. But and I said this last night at our crime and safety meeting, I don't understand the debate in Davidson County. I come from a large metropolitan background where it's very much a blue area in the city of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But we had LPRs for over a decade, and we did not have the debate that's going on here. It is important to public safety that we have more LPR cameras. enables us to do our job better and more efficiently.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you're going, what's an LPR? It's a license plate reader. So it's basically a camera system that's able to read license plates of vehicles that they come through, and that's run through a short database. So if we put, as a police department, if you put out a thing on Be on the Lookout or a BOLO and they're involved in some kind of crime, or it may be stolen, or it could be a silver alert where you've got an elderly person that's gone missing, and that LPR would pick that vehicle up and then would alert officers to the area where they are. So that's what license plate readers or LPRs are, and what a great tool they are.
Of course, I'm a proponent of red light cameras and speeding cameras. I know there's constitutional issues with that, but there's just so many horrible drivers, in the interstates and here on Broad and Lowry and Smyrna and Murfreesboro Road through Laverne. I just, Rick and I've had this conversation, how dangerous the chases can be, but I wish we could find a way to enforce, using, all this advanced equipment. You want to do 100 miles an hour down I-24 and they get your license plate, I'd love for them to be able to, hold you accountable for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had, where I came from, we had a owner's responsibility law. So if your vehicle was used in some sort of an incident and you didn't want to inform the police of who the operator was at the time, you were held responsible.
Well, isn't that the way DUI is in Tennessee? If you allow somebody to drive
if
your
you're
car,
in the vehicle with them,
if
you're sitting in the passenger seat, yeah.
Okay.
DUI by allowance, but you would have to be an occupant in that vehicle. So if you allow, if I'm driving your car and I've been having too much to drink, they could charge you as well, but not. And I mean, that was a point that I wanted to bring up with you, because obviously, what laws do you see that you guys had in Milwaukee versus what we don't have here or have here would help or hurt our situation with our state leaders?
Yeah, I think, one of the things that I've had some conversations with our state lawmakers already was in Wisconsin, you're treated as an adult when you're a suspect. When you are committing a crime, the adult age starts at 17. So you can be charged as an adult. Now, the courts can do it earlier at 15 years of age or 14 if it's a very egregious homicide or something like that. But as a matter of standard practice, if you commit a crime and you're 17 years old, you're treated as an adult. You go into the adult system. If you are the victim of a crime and you're 17, you're still treated as a juvenile victim. But that enabled us to hold people accountable. We see a lot of younger people these days committing more and more violent crimes, going armed, shooting off their weapons in public places and things of that nature. So to lower that age to 17, which I believe is appropriate, I would love to see that here in Tennessee. It would open us up to a stronger system of justice. I understand the philosophy behind the juvenile justice system and trying to get people out of the criminal behavior when they are younger, but at 17 years of age, if you're gangbanging, slinging dope and shooting guns and shooting people, you don't need to be in that system. You need to be in the adult system.
I agree 100% on that. Far as traffic laws, because obviously we're talking about, and that's it, we're such a high growth county, and I imagine that's a lot different from what you were used to up there versus what you have here. Is there things that you can think of that would combat that somewhat? Because obviously that's a big topic you hear between Wayne and I. And he drives from Nashville to Smyrna daily and on the interstate system. But is there anything you can think or you've implemented in your department that could help with that?
In terms of the traffic and the reckless driving
patterns,
we try. So we have an analyst. Easton Horton is my crime intelligence analyst with the PD. And we try to track our accidents and things of that nature. We'll deploy our resources based upon our traffic data, trying to reduce the number of accidents, where they're occurring, when they're occurring. We have to do some sort of a temporal analysis to find the time of day of week that these are more prevalent. So we've found that to be helpful. But really, I think it's boots on the ground. The more officers that we have out there visible that can make those traffic stops. And I'm part upon my people. It's not a ticket writing initiative. It's about public safety. It's about using the level of response by the police to elicit the proper response or behavior from the public. And if that means it's a warning, it's a warning. But we need more people out there doing more traffic enforcement so that people understand that it's a public safety issue. One of the big, last night at the crime and safety meeting, another school zone where people are passing in the left turn only lane and they're not slowing down. These are our children.
Yeah.
These are we have school zones for a reason, and the last thing anybody wants to see is one of our kids get hurt because of some reckless driver.
Talk about that, the crime and safety meeting. That's something new for Laverne that they've never had before. That obviously you've implemented. So tell us about those meetings and what to expect, and when are you going to have those usually?
Yeah, last night was our first one, so I was really happy at the turnout. We will do them quarterly, so we try to get 3 months worth of data, and we'll evaluate that as we go. We might do it every trimester if we don't feel like we have enough data during that time frame. But we're going to try to move them around the city of Laverne. Last night was our inaugural one, so we had that at City Hall. But we're looking to host them at churches or at schools, anywhere that if there's an HOA or a neighborhood that wants us to come in and do a crime and safety meeting there, more than happy to do it. But we try to share with the members that show up the crime statistics, some of our major cases that we've solved, and most of what we talk about, I talk about on a monthly basis at our Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. So it's kind of rehashing of the data, but compiling it more on a quarterly level than just a monthly level. But the most important piece of that is the dialogue that we have between the public that shows up and me, so that I can understand what their priorities are, and they can pull me aside afterwards or during the meeting, talk to me about what concerns they might have, and we can talk about potential solutions.
I agree 100%. I think the days when I started in 1993, and then a year after that was when Clinton came in and they did the COPS grants. So yes. we hired 14 officers in Smyrna in a couple 2.5 year period of having basically 15 new people come on the police department, and we grew because we were growing so fast and getting all these new people in and implementing procedures and everything else that we really weren't used to. And I found out that that community outreach was a big difference for us, because back then we had a Special Olympics and we did a torch run that we still do today. It's a run, and we sold t-shirts and things, and that got us out in the community. I think we saw a big change in Smyrna just in those first 5 years of me working in the police department, was because that community outreach. And the more you reach out that community and have those dialogues and are open, that they start feeling safer. Two, they're more apt to be able to talk to you. I know the kids, the Imperial Gardens and the Colony Squares, if you lived in the 90s in Smyrna, it's pretty heavily, violent area. But once I played football and baseball and everything else out there in the play area with those kids, it was all of a sudden they were my best friends, and they helped me, I helped them, and it made a better community for everybody. And things like that I love seeing, because that's going to get the community on your side and go to bat for you and help you.
Yeah, we had a community safety day this year that we paired with our fire department, and shout out to them and allowing us to use their new fire station there to host those kids. But it was really a unique opportunity for them to get to know us. Hopefully we have some future cops or firefighters coming out of that group. Yeah. But I really enjoy the community engagement aspect of it. I hired a young lady, Carrie, she's our community engagement coordinator. It's a position that didn't exist before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's paid dividends like you wouldn't believe, because I'm pulled in many different directions, and it's nice to have somebody who can organize a lot of these events, and get them prepared for me, and just basically tell me when and where to show up, so I can engage the public and do my job. So she does a fantastic job of that and coming up with new ideas, and we've really expanded our community outreach in Laverne, and I'm looking forward to doing it even more next year.
That's amazing.
With me having grandchildren in public school, and with my past with the school board, I'm a priority for me is the SROs within the schools, but also with the departments having great communication and cooperation between the SROs in the schools and in your department or Smyrna or Murfreesboro. Just that's a big deal for me.
Yeah, we've tried to do that. That's the one thing that does make it a little challenging for the local law enforcement agencies, because the county, it's a county school system. So the county sheriff's department has all the SROs.
Right.
So we have to make a conscious effort to engage in programs at the schools so that we can, build those relationships between us and the students, and also their administration, their teachers, and things of that nature. And we've done quite a few events this year as well with that. So we shared that last night at the crime and safety meeting, and it's just it's rewarding. It's good to see that we're moving in the right direction.
That's awesome. What's your 5-year plan? So you've been here, you got your feet a little bit wet now, and they're drying out. What's 5 years you see Laverne in 5 years? It's the hardest question you'll get this year.
Yeah.
Jason Cole told me to ask you that, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Approximately, and I'm estimating the number, but approximately 35 total employees. And right now with civilian employees, we're over 100. We're about 110 civilian employees budgeted for. And we have run out of space. We have literally turned our locker rooms into storage areas, closets into office space. We have no more space to expand, so we need a new building. We need new facilities so that we can operate more efficiently and provide the best level of service that the public deserves. And so that's also my goal in my 5-year plan. But that's dependent upon a lot of other factors that I have no control of. I can, and let me say this: the mayor, the vice mayor, the board of mayor and aldermen and Laverne have been very supportive of the police department. They know that we're out of space. They know that we need a new building. My city administrator has been very supportive in that. So we're just obviously it costs money, and we got to figure out where that's going to come from and how we're going to do it. But the plan would be to grow the department and to get it to a point where we have not only the facilities but the technology that is, I would say required, but more so deserving. The citizens deserve. Anything short of that is a disservice to the public that we serve.
That's amazing. Listen to Chief Chris Mays with the Laverne Police Department. We're going to take our second break real quick and be right back with you in just 1 minute.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee, and over 100.
One of the reasons I ran for office is because I wanted to bring awareness to the opioid epidemic that's impacting our county. To stop providing this epidemic with people as we educate. We have a lot to do, and we have to come together as a community because this problem's not going away.
Forget those fluorescent lights and freezer burn. This ain't your average grocery run. Meet your farmer, talk a little livestock, and take home the juiciest veggies in your life. The Rutherford County Farmers Market, celebrating 50 seasons.
At Lane Agri Park in Murfreesboro.
Real food, real people, and real local.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Ray Call at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
Premier 6 Theater on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Let's all go to the movies.
Check out what's showing at murfreesboromovies.com. Popcorn popped fresh daily.
Movies at the good old
Premier 6 on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Hey there, it's Brian, and I wanted to share just one reason why I've been a customer of First National Bank of Middle Tennessee for years. What I love most is how they're always there for me, no matter what I need. I know I'm not just another number. When I have a question, I can count on getting a real answer from a real person who knows me and my financial goals. They're always showing up for me, and they can for you too.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And good morning. Welcome back to the third and final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's certainly been our pleasure this morning to have the Laverne Police Chief Chris Mays or Christopher. Which one do you go by, Chief?
Chris is fine.
Okay. Before we get back to talking with Chief Mays, would again Walk for Water, which is this Saturday, October the 5th, to basically dig wells for developing countries. This is the 4th annual, and for more information, you can call 615-966. This writing is so small, 8949. So again, great community outreach. Again, God bless you for being with us this morning, Chief. And I tell you, this has been a great pleasure getting to know you.
Well, it's been a lot of fun for me too. I appreciate you having me on.
Same here. And the first segment, I'll go back to October the 7th. We were correct on that. The National Night Out Against Crime will be in Laverne from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And it's at Veterans Park. Veterans Park down in Laverne. And will there be a Dunkin' booth there that we might see the chief in, or
no,
the mayor or anybody?
The only way I'm doing that if I'm the first
it's a
person.
Southern tradition that we get chiefs and Dunkin' booths, right?
I'd be willing to do it. But I don't know if we're going to have one.
It's October.
Now, you said your older brother was an engineer?
Yes. Yep.
Get him to develop an electromagnetic pulse gun, like a radar gun, that you can shoot these cars and they'll just stop. And then that way we don't have to chase them, and you can go ahead and give them that big ticket.
If he invents that, I'm going in halvesies on it, because
exactly
that's going to be a hot item.
On an island in the Bahamas.
Wouldn't that be cool if you just point a radar type gun and click, they're done, and you just go cuff them and transport them.
That would make things easy.
They've come out with a new net, and I see it's being implemented pretty heavily now. It stalls on the front of the patrol cars.
What is that called? The grappler?
The grappler.
Oh, I saw that on Facebook, and I thought,
ripped the rear end clear out of a front-wheel drive Honda. I thought that was pretty impressive.
I wondered if that was actually a thing or if it was AI.
No, that's actually a tool.
Wow.
It's mounted on the front of a police car and or a squad, and then you get it deployed, but you get close enough to the vehicle where it gets kind of sucked up into the rear wheel well, with their tires spinning, and it grapples onto the car, and then you're able to slow down, and it kind of makes it fishtail too.
Yeah.
And you get them off to the side of the road.
All right, he said a word there. I want to go back to squad.
that was a shout out to one of my employees.
So is that like a new employee thing too? You got your 10 codes, and then you got the chief codes. It's always a little different.
So I've been told, out in the Northeast, they call them cruises.
That's right.
And they make fun of me here because I call them a squad. And but that that's what Squad 56R was my first squad in Milwaukee and everything. But they call them patrol vehicles here. It's very prim and proper. Or patrol cars, but patrol vehicles. But it'll always be just a squad to me. So
I like it. I personally like it a lot.
I want to thank y'all for letting me be involved in the conversation this morning, because I wasn't quite sure with two law enforcement professionals that I was going to get a word in.
Now, you went to the academy before both of us, and you're trying to implement yourself out,
Yeah, you're the senior guy here.
Well, I tell you what, that was the most fun 8 weeks that I've had in my life. Mm-hmm. That was the physical education, the self-defense, the firearms training, the driving, and it just eat, sleep, and do law enforcement, and that was so much fun.
I had a lot of fun going to Toledo myself, and it wasn't a full academy, being that I was certified from out of state, But I got to meet some great instructors there, and it was a nice journey getting my certification here in Tennessee. And a special congratulatory shout out to Ralph Bello, who was just recently appointed to be the
Smyrna
director.
Guy.
He's a good guy, and
Smyrna guy.
Yeah,
okay.
Served in Smyrna, and he's now the director of their academy, and well deserved. They got a good person to lead that academy.
Mr. Grigsby was a retired FBI agent. He was the director when I was there, and then Mr. Bass was the assistant director, and I think he became the director and was there for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just a great time. You wouldn't think law enforcement would be actually that much fun, but gosh, that was a great time.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to be a recent graduate of the FBI National Academy.
Congrats.
And that was a lot of fun as well. The networking that the friendships you build, the professional contacts from all across not only the country but the world. I mean, we had people there from that were law enforcement executives from Cambodia, from the United Kingdom, Australia, France, you name it. They were there, and
wow.
We now I have this hugely expanded network that I could reach out to when I have questions or concerns. But those 10 weeks that was spent at the FBI National Academy were very special for me, and I'm glad and proud to to be able to send more of my people now to go there and be a part of that program, because you learn so much about leadership, you learn so much about yourself and what your own personal shortcomings are, and how you need to rely on others to fill the void that exists within yourself, so that you can make the organization be as successful as possible. And it was a great 10 weeks. My lieutenant of detectives, Lieutenant David Durham, will be going in January, and he'll be a part of that next class. So proud to say that we're continuing the educational journey for our people here in Laverne.
And that's huge, because I credit Sally Walls for Smyrna years ago when she became assistant chief, and we did that COPS grant. She implemented educational requirements. We had a 2-year degree implementation into that, to where she went to higher education people, and then she spent the money with sending us to specialized schools and things. And from before that, we had our 40-hour course there at the police department, and it just was terrible. Absolutely terrible, and she implemented a lot of that good stuff. And I shout out to Nolensville PD, which was a very small agency. They sent their first lieutenant that's headed to this FBI academy, and they posted he from his pickup truck, he took a picture of the entrance to the
Lieutenant
academy.
Hoffer.
He's headed up there. So did you get your yellow brick?
I did. I got my yellow brick.
That's a big deal.
And Sally was a cousin of mine. So like I told you, I got a lot of relatives in Middle Tennessee area.
Yeah, watch the Britton and Blairs and Waldrons. Any of those, stay away from them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a great experience there. The yellow brick is something that I have proudly on my shelf, but yeah, I'm glad to see Hoffer's there, and he's actually communicating with my lieutenant to try to, get him ready and give him tips for it. So it's a unique experience. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're keeping it for now at the FBI National Academy. There was talk about doing a trial run of having it at an FBI facility in Alabama.
That's right.
But the close proximity to Washington, D.C., and part of the trip, or part of the experience is you go to a trip to Philadelphia, and you get to see the Philadelphia Police Department and a lot of different things there. You also go up to New York City. We got a tour of their entire Police One Plaza, which was great.
Wow.
So, and then obviously, because Washington, D.C. is so close, you can get tours of the Capitol, and you can meet professionals there, Secret Service, everything else. I mean, it was amazing.
I regret never going. I would have loved it.
You've been a pleasure this morning, Chief. Thank you again. God bless you for your efforts.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Just one person trying to do, the Lord's work in my own special way. And, I appreciate you having me here. And, anytime you got an empty spot and you want me to fill it, I'll come on.
Well, I promise you we'll have you back. As long as Brian doesn't get rid of us.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, October the 7th, come out and meet our chief. He'll be in the Duncan booth, and we'll see you down there. But have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County.